people of Obafemi Owode across social, political, and economic divides have resolved to give their maximum support to the governor of the state, Prince Dakbo Abiodun, on his second-term bid. The endorsement was done at the town hall at Obafemi Owode local government headquarters, Owode-Egba, where a letter was forwarded to that effect to the APC state secretariat in Abeokuta. Fowora Adesonwo reports that students, traditional rulers, market women, youth, and political bigwigs attended the meeting. Sheyi Alao has the details. Similarly, the Artisans Association of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter, has pledged support for Prince Dakbo Abiodun ahead of 2023 general elections. The chairman of the association, Anthony Ayodele, made the declaration during their courtesy visit to the governor's office in Okemoson, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Sheyi Alao reports.
Trumpets and drums rent the air as the Artisans Association of Nigeria Ogun State Chapter paid a courtesy visit to the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakbo Abiodun, at his office in Okemoson, Abeokuta. The visit, which is part of the association's 2022 week celebration, is to show gratitude to the governor for his good gestures towards the association and to assure him of their support ahead of the coming 2023 general elections. The chairman of the association, Mr. Ayodele Anthony, stated that Prince Dakbo Abiodun's administration has impacted artisans more than any other administration in the state.
We are endorsing Prince Dr. Abiodun for second term because he is a talk and do governor. We know what he has promised, he is going to do it, and he will do it.
In separate remarks, members stressed that they will continue to support the governor in his re-election bid.
Gbogbo akitiyan wọn lórí iṣẹ́ àwa artisans gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń rí. Lóòótọ́ ìyàwó wọn, àwọn náà try. Ó tẹ̀ títí association ní àdẹ́sà náà wọ́n máa ń wá, wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ń gbìyànjú fún wa.
We are planning to achieve so many things, especially from government. We are part of government. We've been talking to government to do so many things for us as artisans because we are not just ordinary person. We know we are important.
The Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, who received the association members on behalf of the governor, said as part of its Building Our Future Together agenda, Prince Dakbo Abiodun's administration will continue to empower artisans across the state.
Thank you for the recommendation you have given to this administration. And we want to assure you that as a government, we have promised not to do all things, but all the promises that have been made by this administration, through the help of God, all of them are going to be fulfilled.
Meanwhile, the Ogun Artisans Association will wrap up its week on 11th of May 2022. Sheyi Alao, OGTV News.
We now bring you the report on the endorsement of Prince Dakbo Abiodun at the Obafemi Owode local government headquarters. The people of Obafemi Owode across social, political, and economic divides have resolved to give their maximum support to the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakbo Abiodun, on his second-term bid. The endorsement was done at the town hall of Obafemi Owode local government headquarters, Owode-Egba, where a letter was forwarded to that effect to the APC state secretariat in Abeokuta. Fowora Adesonwo reports that students, traditional rulers, market women, youths, and political bigwigs attended the meeting. His report.
A fiesta of sorts. Owode-Egba, the headquarters of Obafemi Owode local government area, became a beehive of activities. From the 12 wards of the local government area came a large number of enthusiasts of the government of Ogun State, led by Prince Dakbo Abiodun. The reasons for convergence were not far-fetched. According to them, developmental drives and humane nature of governance, which they also describe as all-inclusive.
The governor is
a man of vision, enjoying benefits of the government. He has been doing tremendously well for the past 3 years now.
Traditional rulers and opinion leaders in the local government area say, given the current performance of the present administration, Ogun State stands to be better in the next 4 years. Engineer Babatunde Adesina, a one-time chairman of the local government, who is now the special advisor to the government on works and infrastructure, conveyed the resolution of the people to the party through the representatives of the senatorial chairman, Chief Paul Abiola. Bigwigs of All Progressive Congress immediately after the endorsement of the governor of Ogun State, Prince Abeokuta, for his second-term bid, commissioned their party secretariat at Owodiegba, Adefowora, Adesanwo, OGTV News.
Ogun State Governor Prince Abeokuta has said it is very ideological to create economic development through various platforms across all strata of the economy to improve on the life of the people and the society at large. Prince Abeokuta stated this during the commissioning of Kache Analytical Laboratories and groundbreaking of the proposed Kache complex in Magboro area of Ogun State. Dignitaries present at the occasion include Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otunba Niyi Adebayo, among others. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu reports.
This institution that we're laying foundation today will grow, will flourish.
The official commissioning of Kache Analytical Laboratories and the groundbreaking of the proposed Kache complex in Magboro area of Ogun State is a private organization focused forward and backward integration strategy and in response to the perceived gaps in the science and technology ecosystem in Nigeria. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otunba Niyi Adebayo, said the intervention is a significant project that would provide solution for testing services in agribusinesses, among others, across the world.
I want to therefore assure Kache Company Limited and the investing public that the federal government's diversification drive in the health sector will go a long way in reducing health tourism. This is why I deem it expedient to be here today as a sign of fortifying our resolve.
The state governor, Prince Abeokuta, said the importance of laboratories coupling cannot be overemphasized, adding that it is imperative to continue to look inward to provide quality analytical service for Nigerian businesses in a number of industries. He also stressed that the ease of doing business in the Gateway State is given more concentration so as to create economic development and individual prosperity.
Besides the excitement that I feel being the privileged governor of this great state, I'm also excited that this is an affirmation of what our vision is. And what is that vision? Our vision as a state is encapsulated as that which is to provide a focused and qualitative governance, whilst creating an enabling environment for public-private sector partnership, which we believe is fundamental to the economic growth of our state and the individual prosperity of all our people.
The chairman of the laboratories speak on the journey so far.
Over the past 3 decades, Kache has supported the growth and development of science in Nigeria by equipping science laboratories with quality analytical instruments, chemicals, reagents, and consumables. Our partnerships with world-leading manufacturers of science laboratory equipment, chemicals, reagents, and general consumables across the globe have enabled us to become one of the leading providers in Nigeria.
Kachi Laboratories Company is a huge investment in strengthening the analytical space in Africa and provide world-class solutions to the local markets. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Permanent secretaries in Ogun State Civil Service have been charged to work together and support each other in working for the realization of improved internally generated revenue of the state as they received their official cars from the Ogun State government. Secretary to the state government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, gave this charge during the presentation of the cars at the arcade ground of the governor's office, Okimoson, Abeokuta. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Another fulfillment of the promise to develop an efficient civil and public service to help realize the Building Our Future Together agenda of the government through the creation of enabling environments and improved working conditions for civil servants in the states. Permanent secretaries in Ogun State Civil Service are now being presented with their official cars as a form of encouragement and to aid efficient service delivery. Secretary to the state government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, praised the contributions of civil servants to the realization of the goals of the administration in the states, describing them as arguably the most ingenious and hard-working workforce in the country. Mr. Talabi said the permanent secretaries deserve the official cars given what they have contributed to the states.
The structure is such that the level of I want to lobby, I want to interfere has reduced. Everybody knows what they should get. And when it is time to get them, the administration tries and will give it to them. And we're going to continue in that spirit. But generally, the civil service has been very cooperative with His Excellence. They've brought out their best also for us.
The state head of service, Dr. Nofiu Aigo, advised the permanent secretaries to see it as a form of encouragement to do more in moving the civil service to the next level.
We must ensure that our agencies perform better. I want to thank His Excellency Prince Dr. Abeokuta MFR for this kind gesture.
Chairman, Body of Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Kola Fagbon, thanked the government for prioritizing the welfare of workers in the state and expressed the gratitude of the permanent secretaries.
It shows it's committed to the welfare of the majority of the public service. Mr. Governor, we are very, very grateful. Are we not grateful? We are.
The permanent secretaries were then presented with their cars after the symbolic presentation of keys to them. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
You are watching OGTV News. Still to come, World Health Organization says nearly 15 million deaths recorded globally from COVID. More news after the break. Join us again. Ogun State House of Assembly has passed a resolution proposing to the state government to limit the number of revenue-generating organizations in the transport industry to a maximum of 3 per subsector to streamline the collection process and avoid leakages of government revenue. The passage of the resolution was consequent upon the motion moved by the majority leader of the House, Honorable Yusuf Sharif, seconded by Honorable Ganiu Oyedeji, at the plenary presided over by the Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, at the Assembly Complex, Okimoson, Abeokuta. Correspondent Kolawole Osho covered the plenary. Details of his report are in this package.
The Assembly's resolution to limit the number of revenue-generating organizations in the transport industry to a maximum of 3 per sector to streamline the collection process and avoid leakages of government revenue came shortly after members' submission on the need to curb revenue leakages and guard against any act that could cause breach of peace in the state, speaking under personal explanation which led to the passage of the resolution. Chairman House Committee on Transportation, Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, his Vice Honorable Abayomi Fasua, and Honorable Kemi Oduwole explained that the pruning down of the revenue agents in the transport sector was meant to instill sanity in the sector with a view to ensuring a more reformed ticketing system. They noted that the reduction in the number of revenue agents will curb the old practice which often led to loss of revenue to the government and create unnecessary rancor among the multiple agents engaged. Other lawmakers, including the Chief Whip, Honorable Asunuke Bello, and Honorable Gani Oyedeji, who cited cases of sharp practices reported by government revenue agencies against some independent revenue agents, submitted that designated agents should be empowered to ensure holistic revenue management. The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, equally lent his voice to the passage of the resolution.
We should make sure that, whether for Okada, for tricycle, or car and taxis, it should not be more than maximum of 3. We should be able to control leakage of the excess of revenue and then maintain security in the state.
Majority Leader Honorable Yusuf Sharif thereafter moved the motion that the state government to limit the number of revenue-generating agents and organizations in the transport industry to maximum of 3 per sector, seconded by Honorable Gani Oyedeji, while other members give their nod through a voice vote. In another development, the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Bill forwarded to the Assembly by Governor Abeokuta has killed the first reading as the Clerk and Head of Legislative Service, Mr. Deji Adeyemo, did the first reading before the state lawmakers, followed the acknowledgement of the Governor's correspondence dated 25th of April 2022, conveying the supplementary bill consisting of the summary of supplementary estimated of the state revenue and expenditure for the consideration of the legislative arm in line with Section 121 of the Constitution. According to the Governor, the supplementary budget is in view of certain exigencies of government to reinvigorate funding of some key projects, especially in the infrastructure sector, which requires urgent attention to sustain the gains made so far.
Core curricular activities such as public speaking, quiz, amongst others, have been said to boost critical thinking of learners and also helped in no small measures to turn around the dwindling education sector. Speaking at the state final of President's Inter-Secondary Schools Debate Championship held at Abeokuta Grammar School, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mrs. Abosede Ogunleye, posited that education as knowledge enhancer will assure individuals' ability for invariable self and societal improvement. The Permanent Secretary, represented by the most senior director in the ministry, Director Quality Assurance and Teachers Development, Mr. Martins Akinshulu, said the paramount concern of the present administration towards sustaining the provision of qualitative education coupled with quality assurance will help improve the standard of teaching and learning.
This laudable academic exercise is aimed at encouraging and giving the learners an opportunity to practice, speak up in front of an audience, and think on their feet. Also improve their reading habit in preparation of the competition.
In her welcome address, the Director, Education Support System, Mrs. Bamidele Makinde, submitted that debate competition will help develop critical thinking skills, build confident public speaking, provide learners the opportunity to explore real-world topics and issues, and also engage them to learn from their peers. She revealed that the winners from the state competition will engage other learners from other Southwest states before proceeding to the national for the final rounds. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has advised the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to sign the 2009 agreement the government reached with the union. The union said this is necessary to end the ongoing strike embarked upon by the union. The union, as part of its argument, is urging the federal government to implement the 2009 agreements it signed with the federal government. The union has, however, urged the Buhari-led administration to sign the 2009 agreement so as to save the future of the country. The union, in its argument, said that the attitude of the president and his appointees to the strike since it started over 2 months showed that they do not have any intention to solve the problem. The union alleged that the political elites were not ready for the children of the masses to have quality education through committed funding and signing a new decent welfare package for ASU members. The university lecturers on the platform of ASU have been on strike for the last 3 months. The union has earlier declared 2 months warning strike before it commenced the indefinite strike. In view of global challenges confronting the economy, Nigeria and India are making new moves to attract investment for mutual benefits at a dialogue in New Delhi. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Oyoma called for stronger ties between Nigeria and India. He says with access to 54 markets, the African Continental Free Trade Area is a game changer that is doing business for countries. Speaking on trade, cooperation and partnerships, the minister noted that Nigeria and India have a long history of very close cooperation in people-to-people relations. Looking at India as the world's second largest producer of steel, Oyoma assures that Nigeria will collaborate closely with India to achieve Industrialization Action Plan through Continental Framework of India-Africa Summit. The minister, while in India, visited one of Nigeria's largest steel and power plants and inaugurated the Nigeria-India Business School. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi sympathized with government and people of Nigeria over the recent deaths in Imo State due to illegal oil refining. The Minister of State for Works and Housing, Malam Mohazu Sambo, says the Nigerian government has completed about 6,000 housing units across the country. According to him, the houses are funded by the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN. Sambo told journalists in New York that Nigerians home and abroad should buy the houses, which are sold on the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing portal. Sambo added that 700 units out of the 6,000 units will be inaugurated in Zuba in May, adding that one of the priorities of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is to provide social houses. In addition, the minister said the government was working to deliver 900 housing units under its National Housing Program, NHP, in 36 states across the country. The federal government on Thursday said there were guidelines to be followed to ensure press freedom in the country. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this at the West Africa Regional Forum during the presentation of the 2021-2022 report on global trends in freedom of expression and media development, organized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in Abuja. The minister, who claimed that the country had always championed the observance of rights to freedom of expression, explained that Nigerians must be circumspect in the use of information to avoid fake news and hate speeches. He said, as a country, Nigeria has always championed the observance of rights of freedom of expression and the safety of journalists, adding that government has always insisted that this right that all enjoy, especially as media practitioners, comes with a huge responsibility. A responsibility that says everyone must be circumspect in the use of information at the disposal to avoid misinformation, fake news and hate speech, which, if not well managed, could lead to serious disaffection and chaos in the society. The minister categorically said Nigeria has a vibrant, pluralistic and free press, and this would not have been possible without an enabling environment. The COVID pandemic has caused the deaths of nearly 15 million people, almost a third of COVID deaths globally. The Indian government has questioned the estimates, saying it has concerns about the methodology, but other studies have come to similar conclusions about the scale of deaths in the country. The measure used by the WHO is called excess deaths. How many more people died than would normally be expected based on mortality in the same area before the pandemic hit. For Business News segment, let's now join Mujisola Sholaja. You're welcome to the business segment of the news. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has given the 7 electricity distribution companies approval to increase their tariff rates. The new approval took effect from January 1, 2022, but the new rate is from February 2022. Accordingly, the Commission based the increase on the performance improvement plans of the DISCOs and indices such as gas price, inflation exchange rate, US inflation rate, and available generation capacity. The Commission noted that the indices with potential impact on electricity rates were considered. It added that these indices shall be reviewed in every 6 months to update the tariffs with changes in the indices as applicable in line with the multi-year tariff order. The International Energy Agency, IEA, and the United States are to release a total of 240 million barrels of crude oil from their strategic reserves to the global energy market in the next 6 months, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has said. OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Brankido made this known in his opening remarks at the 62nd video conference meeting of the Joint Technical Committee. He said what recent events and developments imply is the continuing shift among policymakers. The OPEC scribe noted that it is not about transiting from one energy source to another. It is about utilizing all available energies and understanding the energy security dimension of the future to enable the necessary investments. Telecommunications service subscribers have opposed the planned increase in the cost of voice calls, short message services, and data services in the country. They claimed the economic hardship, including steep inflation rise, has shrunk disposable income significantly, making the planned tariff hike ill-timed. But the president of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers of Nigeria, NATCOMS, Chief Diolu Ogubanjo, said telcos should not increase tariffs because subscribers are passing through a lot of challenges now. Ogubanjo said the operators should hold the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, and the NCC responsible for the drop in their revenues. Bank accounts not linked to bank verification number BVN have reached 73.8 million. Data from the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, has shown. Of the 128.4 million bank accounts in the country, 54.52 million accounts are linked to BVN as of May 1 this year, according to data from NIBSS. This was an improvement from 47.54 million BVN-linked accounts position as at April 11 last year. The NIBSS data, however, fell short of the 100 million BVN-linked account target set by the Central Bank of Nigeria for Deposit Money Bank. Finally, the Naira has dropped to 585 Naira against the dollar at the parallel market. The figure represents 1 Naira or 0.2% depreciation compared to the 588 Naira it traded last 2 weeks. Currency traders, known as bureau-de-change operators, said the forex liquidity crisis still persists in the market despite low demands. The traders said demand for the greenback was low on Wednesday. The parallel market is characterized by non-compliance behavior with an institutional set of rules. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Back to Yabo.